Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Austin here, or Luna. Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday so far. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. My weekend's going to be pretty chill. I don't have a lot planned. Just making videos, working on music, trying to get things together for you guys, because I see your comments. I read my comments every day, and I see people being like, dude, when's the next song? When's the album? When's the 3-hour video? When's the 9-hour video? Luna, when's the 4-day video? And, it'll happen eventually, okay? All right, I said I would do it eventually, and I promise I will. Now, a 3-hour video takes a long time, so I'm going to be honest with you guys. You're not getting it anytime soon, okay? I'm just going to be real, all right? But before the year ends, maybe for your Christmas gift, because I can't get 3 million people everything individually, I can give you all one 3-hour video. Maybe we'll do that. Yeah. So anyway, though, today's story time, it's a good one. It's a great one. I thought I told it a long time ago, but I didn't. And I've told a lot of story times on this channel about all the people I've encountered throughout the years of doing YouTube that have wanted me to delete my channel and hated what I do. Well, maybe not hated. Hated's a strong word, but didn't like what I do. And this story time is a little bit different from the rest, and it involves my dad, which, people seem to like for some reason. I think because he's just such a rare character on this channel, like I tell a lot of stories about my mom and my brothers and my family, but never really my dad. And that has kind of started this rumor of people being like, dude, does he not have a dad? And it's like, no, I do. He's very much in my life, but he's just so chill and so unproblematic that growing up with him, I don't have a lot of stories about him. He's just too chill. But the ones I do have are very good, and I'm going to tell one today. This story time isn't utterly insane or anything like some of my stories, but I still think it's good, and it definitely, is a good bit of nostalgia. And if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you'll probably appreciate it. So yeah, man, let's jump into it. Leave a like on the video if you enjoy it. Let's do this. So today's story time all starts off as a regular day back in 2014. Yeah, dude, a long time ago. 11 years ago. So around this time, I was doing YouTube. It was very early on in my YouTube career. I started this channel in April 2014, and around this time, I believe it was June 2014. So summer, I think it just started, for my school. I think I just got out of school for summer break. It was the end of June, and I was doing YouTube. I was uploading at least a couple times a week. I think it was 3 or 4 times a week, actually. And I was doing my thing, and things were going pretty good. I had a little buzz here on YouTube. I was getting some subscribers. It wasn't nearly as many as I got in the years to follow, but it was still going really good for me. I was probably getting 100 to 200 subs a month, which was insane for me at the time. And I was very happy that people cared enough to watch my videos. And if any of you from back then happened to be watching this video, first of all, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate you. But second of all, you probably know that back then my videos were utterly insane. YouTube was a whole different thing back then. It was almost like the Wild West. People were just doing anything on YouTube. And I talked about some pretty wild topics back then. Don't get me wrong, I still talk about some pretty crazy stuff today. But I feel like back then it was just such a different meta on YouTube, and I would just have every video be about smoking weed and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And back then, most of the people in my life did not know about my YouTube channel, and I wanted to keep it that way because, I didn't want my family to find it and see how, misbehaved I'd been being, because essentially the whole channel was me basically snitching on myself. There was tons of things I talked about on my channel that my parents didn't know about, and if they saw it, they'd be like, what the fuck has he been up to? And I'd get grounded for probably 3 years. So yeah, I did not want to get caught. I did not want my family, my parents, anybody to find my channel, right? So one day in 2014, like I said, in June, I'm working on a YouTube video. My mom's at work because she, didn't have summer break like I did. And I was just home alone recording a commentary. And I don't even remember what video I was making. I don't even know if it's still up. You know what I mean? It was a very old video. But I remember I recorded it. I finished recording it. I was editing it. And I was just chilling. I was enjoying the nice summer. I had the window open. The air was coming in, the fresh air, that summer smell. It was great, right? It was perfect. Life was good. And all of a sudden, my phone starts ringing. And I look down, and the caller ID is from my father. And literally, I was so deep in this video and so distracted with editing it that I was like, you know what? I'll call him back. So I let it ring. I let it ring and it rang and it rang. And finally, it went to voicemail. And all of a sudden, it starts ringing again. And I was like, what the fuck? My dad would never call me twice unless it was something very urgent. So I thought, okay, let me stop editing. Let me pick up the phone. Let me see what's going on. So I stop editing. I answer the phone. I was like, hey, Dad, what's up? And he goes, hey, Austin. And I was like, yeah, what's up, Dad? He's like, what are you up to? And I was like, not much. Just scrolling the internet, not doing a whole lot. Just on my computer. And he's like, yeah? You got anything planned today? And I was like, not really. And he's like, look, I'm calling you for a reason. And, I just want to ask you about it, and I want you to be honest. And inside, I start freaking out, right? Because I'm like, oh shit, what did my dad find out? What did I do? What's going on? Because I thought he's about to be like, I figured out that you've been smoking weed, or I figured out that you did something that you shouldn't be doing, right? So I was like, what's going on? And he says the words, I found. And all of a sudden, the call disconnects. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I go to call him back, and it goes straight to voicemail. And I was like, what the fuck's going on right now? I was like, why the fuck did my dad hang up on me? And I keep trying to call him back, because now I'm like eager to know what's going on, right? Like I want to know like what he found. And it just keeps disconnecting when I call him. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, did his phone die? Like, did he lose service? Like, what's going on right now? And after trying to call him back for like 5 to 10 minutes, he finally answers. And he's like, sorry, my phone died. And I was like, you're good? So what's up? What do you want to talk to me about? And he's like, so I was online today, and I get this email from a friend of ours, and it's got a YouTube link to it. And I click the link, and it's this channel. And I click on one of the videos, and it's you. It's you, Austin. You're talking in these videos. You're talking about some bizarre things. And immediately, man, like the feeling of like just a bunch of stuff came over me. First, it was embarrassment. It's like, oh my gosh, like he found my YouTube channel, like where I'm just, talking to myself in a room. Like, this is crazy. Number 2, it was fear, because I thought, oh shit, he's seeing what I'm talking about. And number 3, I guess it was frustration. I was just frustrated that I got caught. I thought I could keep my little YouTube a secret forever and no one would ever find it. And I was kind of upset that somebody found it. And I asked him, I was like, who found it? And he goes, one of my friends from work sent me an email with a link. So some random guy at his office who's probably like 50 years old was scrolling YouTube and somehow came across the Luna channel, or at the time it was called Austin FFA. And like, I don't know how he came across my channel, man. Back then, I don't think I had even more than like a couple thousand subs. Like, even if I did, I don't know how this guy that my dad worked with, who's probably like middle-aged, would have found my channel. Like, what the fuck was that guy Googling, man? Like, what was he searching on YouTube? Like, first time smoking weed, and then he found this kid talking about it and watched the video and was like, hey, that sounds like so-and-so's son. So I asked my dad who it was, and he's like, it doesn't matter who it is. You met him before, so he recognized your voice. But yeah, he sent me this video, this channel, and it's you. Do you care to explain? So I told him, I was like, there's not much to explain. It's just my YouTube channel. I've been, doing it for a couple months. It's my passion. I love doing YouTube videos. I've been doing them for even longer than this on other channels. So, it's nothing new. And he's like, Austin, the things you're talking about, some really serious, crazy things. And I was like, I know. And he goes, is it real? Like, you've done these things? And I was speechless on the phone. I just didn't say anything for like 5 seconds. And he goes, Austin, when I was a teenager, I did my fair share of crazy, stupid things, okay? You can be honest with me. So I was honest with him. I told him the truth. And he was like, all right, listen, I really think it's a good idea if you delete those videos and that channel and you do something else. And I was honest with him again. I was like, no can do, Dad. I'm sorry, but not going to happen. And he was like, what? Really? And I told him the truth. I was like, look, I love doing this. I love telling stories. It's just a fun thing to do. People seem to really like them. It's really entertaining for them, and I love doing it. And if it makes me happy, I think I should continue doing it. And he's like, Austin, I understand that, but like, what about colleges in the future? What if you apply for a college and they see these videos? They won't let you in. What if you find a really good job in the future and they go to check you out and they find this channel? Like, they're not going to hire you. This channel could mess up a lot of good opportunities for you. Like, you really want to like risk that? And it's funny looking back on this conversation because my life ended up completely shifting like a year or two later, and college was no longer in the question for me. And everything was just, not going to happen the way I thought it would. YouTube became like my full-time career, and I didn't have to go to college, and I didn't even finish high school, and life just went a lot differently than I thought it would. But to be honest, I kind of always knew that I probably wouldn't go to college. Even when I was like in middle school, I remember thinking like, I'm not doing college. Like, hell no. Not that there's anything wrong with college, by the way. Like, if you go to college, that's awesome. And honestly, it looks like a great time, and it looks very interesting. Some of the things you can learn there. Me personally, though, I just felt like it wasn't meant for me. So yeah, I kind of always assumed that I probably wouldn't go to college. But after my dad said these things, I was like, Dad, like, I don't think it's going to affect my college stuff. I don't think it's going to affect me getting a job. I think it's fine. He's like, Austin, I don't think it is. Because like, if my friend already found you, think about all the other people that could find you. Like, this is some pretty wild stuff. And I was like, Dad, I know, I get it, but it makes me happy. And, it's my dream. This is what I love doing. I love making videos. And I think it's a good, like, creative outlet for me. And my dad's like, you know what? Fine. If it makes you happy and you love doing it, fine. Make your videos, do your thing. But all I ask is 2 things. Number 1, tone down on the swearing. I watched one of those videos, and in the first, like, minute, I heard you swear like 15 times. Come on. You got to have better language. Number 2, please chill out on the topics you're talking about, please, for me. And I was like, all right, Dad, I will. And he's like, thank you. I love you. I was like, I love you too. And we hung up. And I remember thinking like, damn, man, my dad is like such a dope dude. Like everyone else would probably be like, nah, man, delete that channel. If you don't, I'm deleting it for you. And I was able to tell him just honestly, like open up my heart and be like, look, dad, this makes me happy. And he was like, fine, but just please chill out a little bit. Don't talk about the crazy stuff so much. Yeah, man, he was just the shit. But I wish I could say it ended there and like, that was it. But it didn't end there because he kept up with my channel. And I think he told other people on that side of the family about it because the next Christmas that I had, I went there to like the Christmas gathering at my aunt's house and people were giving me really strange looks, like my cousins and my aunt and, like my uncles, and just, it was kind of strange, right? Like people were giving me a weird vibe. And then I think what confirmed it, what confirmed that my dad told some people is right before dinner, my aunt walked up to me and she was like, hey, so I watched one of your videos. And I was like, oh no. And she's like, yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And I was like, yeah, I guess. And she was like, they're entertaining as hell though. I was like, thanks, dude. Appreciate that. And she's like, yeah, no problem. I subscribed. So yeah, somewhere in my 3 million subscriber count, there is my father and my aunt. Probably my mom too. I can't lie. I think it's so funny that like out of that big number, a few of them are my relatives. And it's funny as hell. But yeah, that was a very awkward dinner that Christmas. I remember like, going there and just being like, dude, this is so weird. And it only got weirder because every year my channel blew up bigger and bigger and bigger, and more people in real life started finding out about it. And it just no longer was a secret that I could conceal. So I just started telling everyone about it too. And, eventually the weird kind of fizzled out. Don't get me wrong. There's still moments where it's weird. Like sometimes I'll meet people in real life and like they grew up watching me and then they find out it's me. And they kind of treat me a little bit weird because of it. Usually I get 2 reactions, and one of them's really cool and one of them's really rude. The rude one I'll start with first. That's usually when someone's like, dude, I used to watch your shit all the time, bro. Like your videos were the shit when I was growing up. And I'd be like, thanks, dude. And then they'll be like, do you still make videos? How much does that pay nowadays? And it's like, really, dude? That's what you're asking me? I've met a lot of YouTubers, okay, guys, throughout the years that I've looked up to, and I've never once had the urge to be like, hey, dude, how much money do you make? I don't know. In my opinion, that's just such a rude question. I was raised to like not ask people about that kind of stuff. And don't get me wrong, I'm an open book. Like if you want to know, I'll tell you. But it's like, really, out of all the things you could ask someone, that's what you choose? I remember when I met some of the people I looked up to on YouTube back in the day, the first things I asked them was how they made their videos. I'd be like, yo, like what editing software do you use? Like what effects do you use? Like what mic do you use? Because I just wanted to like be them. You know what I mean? Like I wanted to have that quality, that like really cool, like, I don't know how to describe it, like the aura they had on YouTube, you know what I mean? And sometimes they tell me, sometimes they wouldn't. But that was a better question in my opinion than being like, yo, so how rich are you? Anyway, that's like the rude response I get sometimes. And honestly, it's not that bad, okay? It's a little rude, but it could be worse. And it's a very small percentage of the interactions I have with you guys in real life. And then there's a positive one where it's like, yo, like, what the fuck? I watch your shit. Like, your shit's awesome. And like, they just ask me really cool questions, like certain stuff about how I make my videos, what my personal favorite video is, or I'll ask them stuff. Sometimes I'll be like, yo, what's your favorite video? And they'll tell me, or sometimes I'll tell them stories that aren't on my channel yet. Sometimes I give people, the exclusives. I've told subscribers in person stories that'll never be on this channel because they'd probably like be too crazy or like, I don't know, not long enough. So, stuff like that. But yeah, if you ever see me out in public, say hello. And don't ask me how much money I make. I'll tell you, but it's kind of rude. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story. I kind of rambled for a little bit at the end there about YouTube stuff and interactions. But, yeah, it's pretty funny, pretty nostalgic for me to talk about this, and pretty crazy. I literally remember that day like it was yesterday, bro. Like my dad finding my channel, it was a big deal for me. And obviously as time went on and my channel became the thing that it is today, my dad obviously had a much different view of it. Like after about a year, probably after that, he saw like how big it was getting and how happy it made me and how, my dream was basically coming true, and he fully supported it, like loved it. And yeah, sometimes my parents will still hit me up and be like, hey, I saw your video the other day. Like it was funny. You know what I mean? Like they'll still support me. So shout out my parents. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much into the story time. Moral of the story is, you probably shouldn't try and keep your YouTube a secret, because if it gets big enough, people are going to find it. And yeah, guys, that's the end of the story time. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see y'all later. Peace. Everybody faking, I got trouble for days. Why is everybody acting like they